Hello everyone. I am coming to you today with a sausage and gravy biscuit recipe. You have got to try this. Whether you make your own sausage or whether you buy from the store, this gravy is easy. I'm going to start off with my homemade country breakfast sausage spice mix. You'll find the recipes down in the description. We got a little sage here. We got a little brown sugar, red pepper flakes, and more. Of course, I have a lean ground pork I'm using, but you can find ground pork in many different percentages of fat. After mixing, place in the refrigerator anywhere from 2 hours up to overnight. Make sure you cover it with an airtight lid to keep it from changing colors. I'm starting off with my homemade sausage meat here, my country breakfast sausage. Now my country breakfast sausage is homemade, and the ground pork that I use is like 93% lean, so it's very little fat. But you can use any of your favorite breakfast sausage meat out there. If you're using commercial, you don't have to add butter because it has plenty of fat in it. So that's why I've added the 2 tablespoons of butter. I don't need to season the meat because it already has seasoning in it. Likewise with your commercial sausage, you don't need to season it. I'm only adding about 3 tablespoons here of small diced onions. Whether you use sweet or a yellow onion, it doesn't make a difference. And I'm just gonna brown this. And I'll come back when that's finished. Just gonna break it up. Of course, yours is gonna look different if you're using commercial sausage, so don't be alarmed by the paleness of this sausage. It won't brown up as much because of the lack of fat. I'm gonna cut mine off because I didn't make my biscuits first. You may by all means make your biscuits first and then proceed to make the sausage gravy. I am going to cut this off. And then I'll start my biscuits. In this bowl, I have 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon of salt. So now here's where the fun begins. I'm going to add this butter here. This is about 8 tablespoons of very cold butter. I put it in the freezer. You want to make sure your milk is really cold. Do not leave it out. If you don't have one of these, that's okay. You can use a knife, preferably like a dinner or what we call butter knife. And I want to incorporate that into my mixture here. You can also grate your butter in if you would like. It should start resembling coconut or maybe little peas. Now you want about a cup of milk. I'm using whole milk, but I'm going to start off with about 3/4 cup here. Add a little bit more milk. So that should equal up to 1 cup there. And you don't want to overwork your biscuit dough. I'm just going to lightly flour my work surface. And now I'm just going to work it just a little. I'm trying to do this with one hand because the camera's to my right. And I'm just going to flat with my hand. But if you have a rolling pin, I couldn't think of it. If you have a rolling pin, you can use that. I don't mind if my biscuits look a little rustic. Try to make sure it's a little even. I'm going to use my trusty glass. Don't twist. And then you want to place them on an ungreased baking dish. You put them in an iron skillet. There's a video called Baking with My Family, and we are making these biscuits. This is a perfect little recipe to get the kids involved. Now it's time for me to reheat my sausage. And like I told you earlier, I'm going to add some more fat to this. I'm going to let that melt before I get started on my gravy. Alrighty, this is where all the fun begins. And I'm hoping I got enough fat. We shall see. Now, if you want to make this gravy separate, you can, but I'm going to throw it all in there together. I'm going to put this on a little lower. That's the 1/3 cup right there. Alrighty, I have 2/3 cups of flour in here. And because a lot of the flavor is going to be gathered from that sausage, and I got plenty of savory seasonings in there, I'm just going to do about a half a teaspoon of salt. Now you can use white pepper. I'm sorry, making all that noise. But you can use white pepper, but I don't have a problem with the anesthetics of it. So I'm going to add some crushed black pepper. And that is definitely to taste. And now I'm definitely just adding a pinch of garlic powder. You don't want this to taste like garlic breakfast gravy. Just a little pinch or do. You can also add in at this point a little thyme, a little bit more sage if you would like. I have loads of sage in this breakfast sausage here. Turn up the heat. Now your sausage, if you've used a commercial sausage with more fat, I think that's the word of the day. More fat, your gravy will be browner. So if you see that, don't be alarmed. Now you don't want to burn the gravy, but you do want to make sure that it's well incorporated. You can see it's already pretty thick. If you like a thinner gravy, by all means, add more milk. All right, let me give me a little taste test real quick to see if I need to add anything. I'll need a little bit more pepper in mine. I'm gonna let it sit. And here come my rustic little butter biscuits. And let me just tell you, they were delicious. Make sure you watch to the very end for a special treat. Thank you guys for coming along on this sausage and gravy train with me. So I hope you try this recipe. Don't forget, if you are watching this, subscribe. I want you to like it. Tell me how you feel about the recipe. Also, set your notification bell so you'll know when the next video is coming, all right? All right, here it is. I hope you can see it. Got a little bit dripping from that plate. Here it is. And of course, I'll get you a better picture. Thank you for watching. I hope you make this and enjoy. You might hear my coffee percolating, but here is a little simple trick to make for breakfast. You take that biscuit. I got a little cherry preserves, butter, and a little bit of sugar. You don't have to add sugar if you are okay with the sweetness of your jam. Make a little light glaze on it with confectional sugar or powdered sugar and powdered sugar and milk, and you got you a sweet treat for breakfast. Enjoy. I am coming to you today with some sausage and gravy biscuits. It is not hard to do. It is foolproof. I shouldn't say foolproof. I shouldn't say food. But basically it's easy.